Hey everybody, my name is Tyler with Revit Auto, and we're going to run through a video talking about trailer maintenance, specifically for the Rust Belt mechanics in the Northeast. So behind me, I have a flatbed trailer that has been out in the weather on our roads here in Maryland. What we're doing is a frame prep and paint. Often on these steel frame trailers, when they're going out on the roads, especially in the winter time with road treatment and salt, dirt, grime, you'll have the exterior paint of your trailer start to flake off. And what happens is you'll start to get rust on the surface metal of the panels. You'll want to treat the rust as soon as possible. We refer to rust as a cancer. Once it starts, it's very hard to get it to stop. So every 3 to 5 years, for those who are running trailers up north, it's typical to bring your trailer inside, get all the rust off of it with a wire wheel, prep the paint with a 320 grit sandpaper, and roll a thick layer of new protective paint over top of the metal. And that's what we have Justin doing in the back as he's getting our panels and surfaces ready for paint. We can walk around and do an overall look of the trailer. The pintle hook and the front structure frame of the trailer is the area that you want to give the most attention to. This part of the trailer is maintaining and withstanding all of the load going from the trailer to the truck bed as you're going down the road. This is also the first point of contact behind the rear axle of your truck to throw dirt, grime, and road salt into this area. What we're going to do here is we're going to hit everything with a wire wheel. We're going to knock all of the rust off of the surface. We are then going to treat the rust with a Marhide paint product. That treatment will convert the rust from a oxidizing state and convert it to a state where the rust is not going to grow on the panel. Anywhere on the panel that does not have rust, like this area here, we're not going to hit it with a wire wheel. What we're going to do is we're going to rub it with 320, get it prepped to close to bare metal as possible. And then we're going to take our product and we're going to roll our new paint over top of the metal that we've prepped. On the sides of the trailer, we remove all of the marker reflecting tape that will be found. You'll have a red and a white tape that's DOT regulated on these trailers, and that tape must be completely removed during the process of the refinishment. Failure to remove the tape will cause a hard line in the paint that you lay down, and that will be the first place that weather makes its way underneath your paint job, and that'll be the first place that your paint job fails and starts to flake off from there. As we make our way down the back of the trailer, I want to make sure that my securements don't have any cracks, nothing's bent, nothing's broken. If there were any damages to these securement areas, we would weld and repair and then paint over top of the repair so that no corrosion can make its way there. As we go to the back of the trailer, we want to really do a good job prepping the small areas around the taillights. We will want to remove the taillight from the pocket. That way we can get paint behind this rubber grommet. Failure to do so will give you a very similar effect to not removing your reflective tape. If you leave a hard line of paint here, that will be the first place that your paint peels up, and that'll be the first place that your job gets compromised. So what we're looking at here in this little triangular section of the frame bridge is we've wire wheeled all of the rust off to bare metal. If I was to use the 3M Marhide rust conversion, now is when I would use it. We've got all the surface rust off of this panel. The next step would be to spray it with the Marhide rust converter. What that does is it creates a tight bond to the rust that's pre-existing on the panel. That tight bond will eat past the oxidization caused by the rust, and it will lock the new rust from growing into the panel. That Marhide product also acts as a primer. Once the product is down and it flashes, you are then able to paint over top of it, and that product will protect the rust from growing into your new paint job and it will also allow your new paint job to have a tight bond to the panel that you are painting on. After we spray Marhide on this panel, it will be time to roll on our product. Obviously, we've got a good bit of frame left, but I wanted to take a second and use this panel as an example to show you guys at home what you want to be looking for when you're knocking the rust off and getting ready for paint. Now, some of the mechanics, my friends in Texas, Arizona, down south, they're gonna be looking at me like I'm a little crazy right now. I'm not sure if anybody down south is repainting their trailers every 3 to 5 years because they don't deal with any rust down there. Lucky for you guys. Up here in the Rust Belt, expect to be doing a resurface treatment every 3 to 5 years or whenever your trailer needs it based on the duty cycle that you're using it for. Now, if you're doing a job like this at home, your best friend is gonna be a wire wheel on a drill and 320 sandpaper with something in between to give you a little bit of cushion. What I mean by that is we like to take red rags, fold them up in the sandpaper, and use that to sand. Keeps your fingers from digging marks when you're sanding. If you're fortunate enough to be doing this inside of a shop, you'll find that you'll be a lot more productive using a DA sander with air. A DA sander, you'll be using 320 sandpaper, and you'll want to DA the surface of your entire trailer. That's on the top rail, that's on the frame rail, all the way down. Once you're done with your sanding, you're then ready to roll. What we have here is a product that will roll onto the frame and protect it from corrosion in the future going down the road for the next 3 to 5 years for us Northeastern mechanics. All right, I'm gonna share my secret of the fastest way to get the residue off on these DOT reflecting stickers. If I had a full sticker here, I would be able to slip a razor blade underneath the sticker and peel it right up. But in any situation that I have residue of the sticker left behind, I need to remove this residue before I'm ready for paint. Best way to do that is to grab a wire wheel on your drill. Wire wheel is gonna be your best friend for doing a trailer prep job. And I'm just gonna come in and I'm gonna lightly remove all of this adhesive material with the wire wheel. In my situation, my soft wheel's not cutting it, so I'm gonna bump up to a wheel that's a little bit more aggressive. I'm starting to get into some thicker adhesive here. I had a lot easier time up here than I did here, so I'm gonna go grab some adhesive remover or lacquer thinner. I'm gonna use some paint thinner and see how much that helps me get this material off my panel. What I'm doing there is I'm just giving deep cuts into the adhesive so that the paint thinner can make its way underneath the adhesive easier. And if you couldn't tell by my position, I am putting a good bit of body weight into this. This isn't a situation where you're gonna let the drill do the work. All right, now that I got everything off with my heavy duty brush, I'll wipe it down one more time and I'm gonna come back through with my light brush just to get any adhesives off the panel. The final step will be to come through and hit it with 320 sandpaper. And we're doing all of these steps to ensure that our paint job lasts as long as possible. I like it when I don't see a same trailer again for 5 years instead of 1 or 2 years. And typically when we do the process like this, it does take about 4 or 5 years until they're ready to be done again. And a lot of that is thanks to a very long and tedious prep process. So now I'm coming through with my less aggressive drill piece. And once I have it like that, I would call that appropriate. And we'll come back through with 320 sandpaper on this whole panel. We're gonna do that on each place that we have sticker residue. And when we're done, we'll look like this side over here, where the rails are smooth, baby's bottom smooth, and there's no sticker residue on any of the rails. A rule of thumb for me, if you have residue that can grab your fingernail. You can feel it with your fingernail. You're gonna have to sand it down so that your fingernail glides right over it. Anything that's caught with a fingernail is called a hard line, and that's susceptible to flaking up and falling off while the trailer goes down the road. Again, skipping out on your prep process will cause the trailer to need to be done sooner. A good prep process will last about 4 to 5 years. A not so good prep process might not get you through the first year, and you're gonna know about it on the second year. Something that comes to mind regarding maintenance on trailer tires must be replaced every 3 to 5 years regarding the tire manufacturer. This is not 3 to 5 years, I've got good tread on my trailer, I'm gonna go. Every 3 to 5 years, the rubber compound on your tires will lose their moisture. They will dry rot and they will become structurally compromised. Every 3 to 5 years, trailer tires must be replaced regardless of tread depth at that given time. On this trailer tire here, this tire is dated 08-21. So I know that this tire was manufactured August of 2021. It is now January of 2025, and this trailer tire is exiting its service life. All of the tires on this trailer must be replaced in the next year to stay within DOT regulations. When we replace the trailer tires, we will then check the electronic trailer brakes, and we will check any play for the bearings and the hubs on each axle on the trailer. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you got to learn something today about trailers and trailer maintenance, specifically for some of the guys down south. They get to see some of the pain points that we deal with in the Rust Belt of the Northeast. We've learned that trailers need to be serviced and prepped and painted every 3 to 5 years to maximize the length of the life of the trailer frame and trailer assembly. My name is Tyler Jones with Revit Auto. I'm glad to be inside today. It is 17 degrees outside here in Maryland, and I hope that you guys catch us on the next video. Happy motoring.